Hello, everyone. It's Jerry at the Fledge, and welcome to another episode of Every Damn Day. On the sanctuary right now, I got my Accessiversity T-shirt on that helps me out from time to time, making sure the Fledge is accessible, the shows we do, the software we write, all of that. So check out Accessiversity. Also want to give a shout out to thisent.com and Mr. Joe Walker, the champ, and what he's doing there, and of course 517living.com and their calendar of events and all the things that are going on in our community. Also, coming up next Saturday, we're bringing wrestling back. So behind me is going to look a lot different. There's going to be a pro wrestling ring set up in the middle of the floor and seating all around, and yeah, it really is pro wrestling. So come out and check it out. So today on the show, I have my good friend Ezekiel Jacob. How you doing, man?
I'm good. It's actually Hezekiah Jacob.
Hezekiah. I keep saying it wrong.
You normally do butcher it. You normally get it wrong, but just correct you until you get it right. It's fine. It's fine. Most of my teachers have said it like that.
I appreciate your gentle reminder, and I'm sorry I keep screwing this up. I don't know what is in my memory, but it's messed up. So get a little tougher on me. Smack me in the shoulder or something next time I screw it up, and then I'll definitely remember.
Okay, sweet.
So what you been up to today?
Well, today I've been exercising. Like I normally get up and do like 4 sets of 90 push-ups, 4 sets of 180 sit-ups, 20 rising kicks, both of my legs. I also was like hanging out with my friend Hayden. We went to the game store with me. I bought a PlayStation 3 yesterday. Just like I want to complete my collection of PlayStations. And when I bought it, when I went home, tried to play Modern Warfare, it like froze on me. So I put in the other game that I bought and it just froze. So I went to get a different one. I hung out at the game store for a second with my homie, the dude. His name is Jay, the swap meet. Shout outs. But
Yeah.
So we just talked about the game and made sure that this one was working. So I was there for maybe like 20 minutes, making sure that the game system actually works, things like that.
Yeah, I love the swap meet, man. I love that store.
I'm glad you know him.
Yeah. Well, he's only like not even half a mile. Not even half.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. So, hey, let's jump into you a little bit. Tell us about where you were born and raised and where you went to school.
Well, I was born in Lansing, Michigan, raised predominantly like all over the place, really. I was raised in Lansing until like 3rd grade. I can't remember exactly my age, but it was 3rd grade. My church had decided that God had said that we need to move to Vegas in order to spread the word and spread the light and follow the mission. So I went to Vegas, and like basically some people were going to go, some people were going to stay in Lansing and help the church out in Lansing. So my grandma had decided, okay, we are going to go. Like we are one of those families that are going to go. So we went to Vegas, and I was living there until like 7th grade. And when I was in Lansing, I had went to school at what is that school? I don't remember the name. I don't remember the name of the school. But
Was it South Side or East Side, North Side?
East Side.
Was it Bingham?
It wasn't Bingham, no.
Oh, okay.
It was actually a school where we wore uniforms, and it was a Christian school, which I think they closed it down.
Yeah, I know. I can't remember what you're talking about. Like St. Mary's or something. I don't know.
I think it was St. Mary's. But also, I think I went to Mount Hope Elementary School too.
All right.
Yeah, I remember there was a teacher there, so I definitely remember that it was Mount Hope Elementary School.
Yeah.
yeah. So and then when going to Vegas, like we had lived in the suites, which is a motel thing, for about like 3 months when we went out there. We were on Section 8 at the time. So then we eventually got into a house, and the house that we got into it was a really good neighborhood and things like that. So I was there. We were there until like sixth grade until we moved. But the school that was over there was called Freeze Elementary School, and actually the owners of the school, it was privately owned, were so wealthy that they would send all their fifth graders to Disney land for the last day of school type of deal. Like it was like for like a just like we went over there for a day and then came back. They also gave everybody like $25 to $50 to spend while at Disney World. So it was a good neighborhood and that was a great time. My little sister was mad though because like we moved before she was able to go. She was upset about that.
So every kid in that school is looking forward to the Disney trip when they
Yeah,
graduate fifth
yeah,
grade.
yeah. Fifth grade.
Nice.
Yeah. I was there from third to fifth grade, so I was happy that I was there because I had heard stories about it, and then I finally got to go, and it was such a great time.
Yeah.
Yeah. So we had the reason we had came back, not to interrupt you, Jerry, but the reason we had came back was my great grandmother had contracted cancer in Muskegon, Michigan. So basically, my grandma and my uncle are her only children. My uncle lives in Florida and he has a very busy life, but my grandma doesn't necessarily work a job. She like just does like she shows lap scars and she sells pies, things like that. So they decided that we were going to go up to Muskegon, Michigan, and take care of my great grandmother and help her get over her cancer. So that was seventh grade. We went up to Muskegon, and then I was there for about a year. But then we went to Atlanta, Georgia, with my auntie in Atlanta. She lived out there after she had gone to college, and then she got a house out there. And while my grandma stayed in Muskegon to take care of my great grandmother. So then I lived there for about a year, and then my great grandma and my grandma came down to Atlanta with us. At this time, my great grandmother had beaten cancer, which I thank the Lord for. I was very happy for that. But she ended up passing away not too long after that, but she did actually beat the cancer. They said that it was natural causes. The reason that she passed. She had passed away peacefully in her sleep, and yeah. So when after that, like following along with the story, after that, my mom had called my grandma because we went back to Muskegon for the funeral, and my mom knew that we were in Michigan. So she had called my grandma and told her that she feels like she's ready and willing to take care of us now and take us in back to the house. So me and my brother decided that we would go live with my mom, and my little sister decided that she wasn't going to go live with mom. She was going to stay with auntie and my grandma. Then I was going to Eastern High School to start in ninth grade. I didn't go back to school from eighth grade um, because like we ended up never getting me into school, which I was happy about as a youth that I didn't have to go to school. But we just ended up never getting me into school when we had moved to Detroit because my mom had planned to move to Lansing. And then when we moved to Lansing, I started going to Eastern High School. I was there to 11th grade, and then I did get kicked out of the house at 15 years old. So I went back to Las Vegas, Nevada, because my uncle had moved out there. He had really liked it all the times he came out there and things like that. Then he moved out there, and my dad sent me to Vegas with him, and my grandma also moved out there with him because she really liked Vegas and things like that. And then I was there. I came back to Lansing to live with my dad for a while, and now here I am. Pretty much. That's my backstory.
So you told me yesterday you and I were chatting out on the porch, I think, and you said you've been writing songs since you were 4 years old. Is that what you said?
4 years old. Yeah. I literally remember the songs that I wrote when I was 4. I don't have them written down, but I have them in my memory bank.
What motivated you to write a song? Like, why not a poem? Why not a story? Why not a coloring book?
Right, right.
What made you choose writing songs?
What had motivated me to write songs? It was definitely how songs were formatted. It was the fact that they like most of the songs that you would hear were love songs. Like so, it made me intrigued to write songs about women specifically. Like also songs about like either heartbreak or heartache. That definitely was a driving factor behind it. But it also was the skill level required to make a good song. The fact that like you couldn't just be like um blue applesauce. You couldn't just make it land. You actually had to be pretty skillful in the writing of songs. So that really caught my eye, especially listening to different artists. I would hear that like, whoa, that sounds so good. I can't believe that he said something like that. I want to be able to make people feel like that sounds so good. Like I can't believe that he'd be able to think of something like that.
Yeah. So, do you think that traveling, like going from Michigan to Las Vegas to Muskegon to Atlanta, did that help with your songwriting?
I definitely did. It definitely did. It also shaped my character as the person that I am. Because like all of the different people that I would meet, and also all the different environments that I would engage into, I would see their similarities. Like I was talking with one of this girl who had cut my hair, and then I was telling her how like the same fads that they were doing in Las Vegas and in Muskegon, like at the same time, like that when I moved over there, I seen that they were doing like the same fads. They were like wearing snapbacks on their pants. They were like about skateboarding. They're about like sagging their pants, stuff like that, and like listening to the same artists. I had noticed that, but I also noticed the slight differences, like being in a small town like Muskegon. Everyone was connected with each other. Everyone was cool with each other. Like even like people that I thought like would never speak to me type of deal. Like they were like, "Bro, what's up? Like, what's up? How's it going? Hanging? How's it going? You the new kid here at the school?" And then in like Vegas, people were more distant and more separate. Everyone had like their clique, and like you would hear stories. Like people say, "Okay, we all went out this weekend and we went to Circus, which is a casino in Vegas, but it's predominantly for kids." Um, and like you would hear stories about that, and they were just like more separated away and more in their own cliques. But like in like Muskegon, everyone was like all together, and everyone was lovey and had a lot of friendship within that dynamic.
Yeah. Was So I know Muskegon a little bit, but I know it from Muskegon Heights, where my daughter spent some time in her roughest days.
Right.
So I don't know. Muskegon's lovely, though. You've got the lake right there. You've got a lot of history in Muskegon. Did you still go back to Muskegon?
Um, I've been back to Muskegon before since then, because like my great grandma's side of the family comes from over there. So like I have a few cousins that live there. I haven't like visited deeply, like I've been to the beach or just seen a family member over there. I plan to go up there sometimes and like hang out up there, but I haven't been able to get there as much as I would like to. But I have been back over.
Well, I'm glad you're here in Lansing.
Great.
Yeah, I love. Well, you. I know you as a musician until
Right.
yesterday, and then you showed up in a uniform. I didn't know that part about you.
Right.
And then you told me some more things too that we'll get to. But as a musician, uh, you came to, a week ago or so. You came and did the open mic at the Fledge, and I thought that was a pretty fun time. It looked like you guys were having a great time. Will you talk to us um, about your music? Like what genre? It bouncing across the country like that. It should be country, probably, right? On the road again or something.
Yeah, right. I mean, like that's definitely crossed my mind, like doing stuff like that, talking about my times and stuff like that. But no, I predominantly make pop music. What had got me into music in the first place, not necessarily songwriting, but just music, was I had seen Michael Jackson dancing one time on the stage when I was about around like 4 years old, and I seen him like moonwalking, and like he was like so like he was effortlessly going backwards, you know how the moonwalking goes. He was effortlessly doing that, and it was for maybe like over 20 seconds, which even as a 4-year-old, I did notice. That's a long time to be doing something like that, and like the way how cool it was. So basically, I started studying Michael Jackson, and then I found out, okay, he's a musician. He's singing and dancing and stuff like that. So I was like, okay, he makes pop music. So I got into pop music, started listening to pop music. And that's the genre that I predominantly make. That's my main genre, the one I really run with and I go for.
See, we talked a little bit about the same question, but Dawn beat us to it.
Right.
She'd like to know, who are your musical influences and your favorite artists?
Okay, so my favorite artists are, I'll try to name them in order from like age group.
Okay.
I mean, from like when they came out. So one of my favorite artists is Elvis Presley. When I was younger, I was singing Heartbreak Hotel in the car, and my grandma was like, "Boy, where'd you hear that at?" And I was just like, I don't know, I just picked it up somewhere. I can't remember exactly where I heard it. So Elvis is one of my biggest influences. The Beatles also influenced me pretty heavily. I didn't start listening to them until I was 18 in my senior year of high school. So like I heard "Here Comes the Sun" before in like a movie, and I was like, oh, that's a great song. I really like it. But then I got deep into the Beatles, like all their albums and stuff like that. The Jackson 5 and the Jacksons also influenced me pretty heavily. Like after I started studying about Michael Jackson, I had basically determined that, okay, he came from the Jackson 5. Let me listen to them, give them a try, and see how they vibe with me. I ended up really liking them. So the Jackson 5, and then like of course Michael Jackson, like coming from the Jackson 5, and of course being my main musical influence. Bob Marley also influences me a lot. I like his songwriting skill, and also that he comes from a band dynamic, and the fact that he can actually play an instrument, unlike some people now these days. Usher is also one of my hugest influences. Chris Brown. Also do like Justin Bieber a lot. He also influences me a lot. I know we had exchanged words about that Jerry. My apologies. The Jonas Brothers also influences me too. Yeah, I also like Taylor Swift as well too. So like Bruno Mars, Bruno Mars and The Weeknd. Those are my biggest musical influences. Like I listen to other artists like Miguel, or like who is it? Like Jeremiah. I think people like that. They also give me some influence, but my biggest influences were the artists I named like before Taylor Swift. Like she also influences me a lot.
So I listened to one of your songs yesterday, and maybe we'll hear something later on today. But when you came out for the open mic, it was like a producer and rapper kind of themed open mic. Right. So I thought that, okay, you're a producer or a rapper, you're going to come do that. Do you get that a lot?
I do get that. Some like I get the producer vibe. Like people like they hear me like working on something, like dancing around and like vibing, like deep with the music, and people are like, okay, you must be like a producer type of a guy. And I'm like, yeah, I produce. I like to sing. I like to write music. I do get that vibe a lot. Some people also think that I rap. I've rapped before, but I've steered towards singing.
Yeah, I see why too. After I heard your song yesterday, I liked it a lot. Right. The other thing with pop, like when you say Justin Bieber, a lot of people think 12-year-old girl or something like that. You know what I mean? Like that's his audience. Who's your audience?
I find the people listening to my music. It makes me think. Like I find diversity in people that listen to my music. Like I've seen like I would say like older guys like age of 45, like 60. I've seen them like listen to my music, vibe with it. They tell me I won't necessarily like listen to this all day, but I like the song, I like the catchiness of it. Also there have a lot of like women who listen to my music, like more around like my age group in like early 30s. Like they give me a try, they give me a listen. I have like had some like teenage girls listen to my music as well too, like especially around the time where I was making bubblegum pop or teen
Ah,
pop, I did have a lot of like the girls in my high school, like they would tell me they like my music. They would tell me that they like what I'm doing. So that was my my focus, like when I was younger, to make it for like teenage girls like around my age group. But even at that time, I would get older dudes, like even like people in their early 20s and in their late teens would listen to my music as my audience.
and I think you told me yesterday shift your audience a little bit.
Yeah. That's definitely what I'm trying to do right now. So I have this album that I'm working on, and I'm trying to use that album in order to broaden my audience and shift it, like give me more people that actually listen to me and give me a different dynamic as an artist. Yeah.
Yeah. Is there a particular artist that you have in your mind that, like, their audience would be your audience, or is it
Mm,
like, yeah, I mean,
yeah,
is it the Michael Jackson with his older crowd?
right.
My
I,
wife loves Michael Jackson, by the way. She'll
Michael
moonwalk
Jackson
all
is
day.
Yeah, Michael Jackson is great. I would love to see your wife moonwalk all day. I would set a day aside just to see it. But I would think like maybe like Michael Jackson and like not really The Weeknd, but more like Miguel or like Chris Brown, those type of
Yeah.
people's audiences. Like those are the audience that I think would like enjoy my music type of thing. Or like if you know like the Plain White Tees, I think like from knowing how their music sounds and knowing how my music is, I think like their audience would also definitely vibe with my music.
I so on your music side, you're doing that, and is that like the main thing you want to do? Is
Yeah,
music?
yeah.
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
wanna tour. I wanna produce albums, sell albums, sell merchandise. I wanna live my life out as an artist type of deal. That's my main focus. My main goal
Yeah.
in life is doing music full time as a professional career.
Yeah. I so I love that, and I think that I hope you get to stick to that. I hope you keep pushing on that. You're very prolific, and I love what you're doing with your sound. I guess I like your sound. I like the new song that you let me listen to. But yesterday you surprised me. You walked up in full camouflage garb. I had
Right,
no idea.
right.
Tell us about that.
Okay, so I got into the National Guard. Like I was working this job at Paramount Coffee. It felt bad to me. Like I had a bad sense, I would say, about like working there, and like I seen like people were supposed to be like we were there through a temp service. Like me and other temps were there through a temp service, and they had basically told us that we okay. First, I want to say this is why I'm kind of pausing. I don't want to say anything bad about the company or the people that work there or anything like that. Like I actually did enjoy working there for the most part, and I also enjoyed my supervisors and my fellow coworkers, those other employees. But so I just felt like something bad was gonna happen. Like I didn't see anyone. Like we were supposed to be getting hired in. They told us we would get hired in after a certain amount of hire hours. Didn't see anyone getting hired in. I seen people being let go, like around the same time that they were supposed to be being hired in. And I also didn't like my environment. Like the background that I come from, as far as like my family dynamic. I wanted something better for future generations of my children, and also for myself as an individual. I didn't want to have to be stuck in the same kind of a situation that my predecessors or my family members, my
Yeah.
immediate family members were into. Also, like my the Native American side of me, very warrioristic. I wanted to express that in some way, and so I decided, okay, I'll join the Guard in order to have my warrior side um, be accounted for.
Yeah. So, do you know your tribe while we're on that
Cherokee
subject?
tribe,
What is
Cherokee,
it? Cherokee?
Cherokee tribe. Yeah.
All right. So, how's that going for you, the National Guard?
National Guard is going decent. It's going good. There's been some hiccups that we're dealing with. Me, my recruiter, and my sergeant first class. Like there's some hiccups that we're going with, but it's pretty good. It's keeping me fit. Like the exercises that we go do is even like giving me lashes on my behind. Still, it's still whooping me.
Yeah.
Um, yeah, I really enjoy it myself personally. Like it is a different it is a different environment that you're going into and that you are getting into, most definitely. And I would say that it's not for everybody. My recruiter had told me that only 1% of Americans actually like are interested and actually go through the joining process when it comes to the military specifically. So he told me that I definitely commend you for joining because you are that 1% of people that will do it.
Yeah. Do you keep an eye out on what's happening in Syria and Afghanistan and
Oh, actually,
now Haiti and who knows?
I do not. No, I really just follow orders that that are given to me. I don't search up things that are happening that I really don't have control over. I just listen to the orders that my superiors give me. But partially, like I'll elaborate more. Partially, my reasonings behind that is like things like that kind of sadden me. Like things that go on in the world that aren't necessarily the best. They kind of do give me some heartache and kind of sad me. And when I was younger, I basically determined that like I really can't do anything about this like right now. So I just won't give it my immediate attention and give me more heartache than I could bear.
I we all need to kind of learn that skill, I think, sometimes, you know. Uh, so we talked about music, we talked about Army and the National Guard. Uh, what's the next thing you want to talk about? I don't want to say it because I want you to say it because
Okay.
I
I,
love this and I want to learn about it.
right, I figured that you wanted me to say it. Okay, so I've been being I've been practicing being a Jedi since I was about 8 years old. Like I do the daily exercising, the daily training, the daily meditations. Also, live the lifestyle to the best of my abilities. And so I've been doing that since I was 8 years old. Um, Basically, what had got me into that was like, of course, it was Star Wars. I had seen them being Jedi's, but prior to that, I had always loved martial arts, and like I always loved like warriors. Also, like I was saying about my native side, I always loved like warriors, the warrior mentality. So basically, I started doing some research. You know how you can Google anything, and most likely find it. So I started doing some research on different Jedi temples and Jedi sites. I found this one Jedi site. It was called the Real Jedi Knights, and that's what it used to be called. It's now called Jedi Knights, and they're listed on JediKnights.org. Um, so I went there and I started doing the training because like they gave you parameters of what you should do and how you can do it. So I started doing the training, and then I ranked up to become a Padawan. The training basically consists of um, exercises, martial arts, swords work, meditations, and philosophy, and also some force work in there too. And if you're not understanding what the force is, when it comes to the force is an energy source that encompasses all living things, and all living things are a part of. So like some other words for the force would be like chi. I'm sure you probably heard of that, or like kwai or kai. Um, People also call it aura or prana, and ether. A ether is also another one. So yeah, that's the words for the force, and also like so there's also like force moves and force instructions that are taught to the initiate and the individual. I ended up ranking up to the rank of Padawan, and I'm actually taking my night trials now. Like I've started my night trials. I am on the trial of courage. The trial of courage. And there's a lot of questions in the night
Well,
trial.
so how how did this come to be? Because if I watch the Star Wars movies, I don't think they have all the meditations and all the
Oh,
rituals and all of that.
precisely.
How does this interject or how is this? Who created this?
Right. So they have this thing called Jediism. Jediism is basically the religion that they put on. I say that they put on, but the religion that they consider and that they say is the people who are practicing Jedi's. So basically, I can't tell you exactly who was like, okay, this is how like we're gonna write this down and this is how we'll do it. But like I do know from like the lightsaber techniques, how they did it was they basically studied how lightsaber techniques were done through the books and through the movies and the other stuff like that, and they seen how they went, and then they basically applied the forms from their studying of it. The meditations are also included in the books and things like that, and stuff like that. So they basically determine the different meditations, but they also okay, so I do know a little bit more than what I thought. But they also like take things from like because like you know how Jedi's are monks and things like that, and they do exercises and things like that. So they study like Buddhism right here behind me. I think that's Hinduism, maybe. But so they study like Buddhism. They study like Taoism and other philosophical sciences and religions like that. There's also of the Shaolin Temple, the Shaolin monks, which also are Buddhists, but they also studied that, and they implemented their lifestyles and their trainings and their teachings in order to develop the training and teaching that we have today.
Oh, go ahead.
Yeah, that's basically how it came about. So like it's like even I forget that name. It's like a really old religion that begins with the Z. But those are where the basis of the Jedi training come about from. Those different religions and pulling aspects out of them and things like that. So
like Zen.
Yeah. Like that yin and yang symbol. I was meaning to commemorate, like give you props for having that on you when I seen it, and I hadn't done it yet, but I guess I did it now. Yeah, like that, like yin and yang is a concept that as Jedi's we study and we also try our best to have an understanding of.
So, what really fascinates me about this is one that, when I first started studying quantum physics, the first book that I read was The Dancing Wu-Li Masters, and it's an Eastern philosophy merged in with quantum physics, and it was just so like Wu-Li is the word for nonsense, but it's also the word for physics and chaos and all these other things. And it just, Eastern religions merged with physics or spirituality in a different sense, or even I was a wrestler. Like I'm getting this vibe, like really, I understand what this is. And it makes me really excited that I didn't know that you could do this.
Oh, right. Like people do tell me that, and like personally, I took a lot of my personal time out of my life in order to study this and to get deeper into it. Like, and even like now these days, I am like getting deeper into it and doing it deeper. Basically, like to give you a rundown, like Jedians, they are guardians of peace in the universe, and they are guardians of peace and justice in the universe. They're trained to guard peace and justice in the universe. So that's why when you see the Star Wars movies, like you see their dynamics, that's why they go help people. Like that's why they get a mission, like in the Phantom Menace, where Qui-Gon and Obi-Wan had to go talk to these people who were blockading the Queen Padme's planet. They had to basically talk to them about they weren't there to kill the people who did it, but they were there to come to an agreement about, okay, why are you blockading these people? Can you please not blockade them? Or if you want to continue to blockade them, we don't have a problem with it necessarily, but we need to understand why you're doing it. They were there as ambassadors. So yeah, Jedi's guard peace and justice in the galaxy, and also you can see the dynamic in episode 3. I don't want to just use the same those 3 episodes, but anyway, episode 3 where Anakin and Obi-Wan goes to save Senator Palpatine. Like they are set to save him because he was captured by Count Dooku. Yeah, just helping out, making sure everything is justice and peace in the galaxy. So I'll tell you the Jedi code just so you know it.
Yes,
So
please.
sure. Okay, so the Jedi code is: there is no emotion, there is peace. There is no ignorance, there is knowledge. There is no passion, there is serenity. There is no chaos, there is harmony. There is no death, there is the Force. And as Jedi's, we're supposed to say the code and the mantra every day and follow those tenets. So when it comes to emotion, a Jedi is supposed to remind himself that there is no emotion, there is peace, which peace is tranquility. And when it comes to a chaotic situation, a Jedi is supposed to remind himself, okay, so there's no chaos there. There is harmony. There is a harmonious situation. There is a like people say karma. There's a reason why I'm going through all of these troubles and these tribulations, these complications. That's how in my Jedi path I look at it. Like whenever there's a disorder that arises, I look at it, okay, there is an underlining harmonic situation. This makes me better as a man, or this makes me a better musician, like depending on what the situation is.
I had another guest. I'm going to have to link the two shows together because he talked about not seeing chaos, but seeing harmony.
Oh, sweet.
I mean, a lot of what you're talking. So there's some intersection there for sure.
Right.
And you know, I say we strive on chaos theory all the time. I say that about the Fledge, but
Right.
it really is that trust that the order is going to emerge, that the harmony really is there, and you just got to find it.
So I am training this Padawan right now. Like I'm training. Oh, he's not a Padawan. He's an initiate, but like he is too old. That also we kind of follow those guidelines too. So I said I'll take you in as a Padawan, which is actually paid in the friend who I went to the game store with, not to put him on blast. But so I am training him, and like from an initiated on up, and so I'm trying to teach him how to live a minimalistic lifestyle. Trying to teach him how to meditate and to come at terms with your emotions, and also like Jedi's when Jedi's wake up in the morning, we clean our rooms fully. We fold our like our uniform or our pajamas, and we keep it at the end of our bed. It's just so like it's ready for us whenever we need it, and our room is completely clean. And then we also are being taught to be respectful and to be kind and to be courteous and to also have generosity within ourselves on the everyday as we talk to people and communicate with them.
So this is making you being a Jedi, a student of Jedi, if you will, is making you a better soldier. It's making you a better musician, making you a better person.
I would say all of the above. It completely is. Like I was I was the top of my I'm the top of my drills when I go drill out in where I go. Not like when I go drill where I go, like I'd be like one of the most fit people there. And even when I had joined, like I wasn't like bad. It wasn't bad on me. Like my recruiter had told me, okay, this Jedi training stuff that you're doing, I feel like it's definitely going to help you in the joining process because like you're already being fit. You're already you're being very kind. You're being very courteous. He said he told me that I present a lot of the mannerisms that a soldier is taught to present. So he told me that he didn't see any issue in me making the transition. And as far as like me being a musician, like Jedi's there's the Jedi Creed, which let me see if I can just tell you it real fast. So Jedi's are guardians of peace in the galaxy. Jedi use their powers to defend and protect, never to attack others. Jedi respect life in all forms. Jedi serve rather than ruling over others for the good of the galaxy. Jedi seek to improve themselves through training and knowledge. So the last line of the creed is that Jedi seek to improve themselves through training and knowledge. So basically, I would take it upon myself to learn anything about music, and also like practice music and study music as deep as I can, as also part of my Jedi path situation, which is something I'm having a little bit of difficulty training my Padawan to do because like how easily like you would just want to watch TV all day or eat junk food. But so like the thing about me is like that part of the creed really resonates with me when I want to get deeper into like my musician thing or even like studying of like spirituality, how I like to study it, things like that, because like it's knowledge and it's training. So it definitely does help me be a better musician. and people do actually reveal me, like, as to say what you were saying about like me being a better individual. People do actually tell me, okay, I've had numerous people tell me in the past year, like, you were one of the most well mannered individuals that I've ever met. And I don't like to boast. It's kind of against my Jedi beliefs. I don't like to boast, but I am saying, like, I do also like to take into an account, like, that these individuals have said that to me. It does give me some insight on how I am acting and how I am being as an individual. So, like, they definitely have told me that I was one of the most well mannered people that they have ever met in their lives, and that's just so honoring and humbling for me to hear as an individual, coming from more than three people, more than a few people in the past year.
And I agree with them. By the way, you've been nothing but kind and compassionate and respectful to everybody every time I've seen you. So there's probably a lot of people that come at you sideways, though, too. Like, what the hell is this Jedi thing? It's a make believe in a movie, right?
Right. Like, I've had, like, oh, you want me to?
Well, to me, well, yeah. What's your response to that? And then I'll tell you what my response would be.
Sweet. I'm anxious to hear your response. So as Jedi's, through my this isn't like necessarily in the code or anything, but just through my experience as a Jedi and through my studying, like, part of the code is there is no ignorance, there is knowledge. So basically, when someone is being like, someone is looking down on me, I still apply the fact that, like, he's not being ignorant, he's not being unintelligent. He has, like, an underlying reason. He has some knowledge. He has some intelligence behind the fact of, like, how he feels and why he thinks like that. Like, I have encountered people like they were like, okay, so why are you being a Jedi? And, like, they just, like, they either kind of laugh at it or they just shrug it out as nonsense, which it doesn't really, like, I'm saying it doesn't sit well with me. I am only, like, a Padawan doing my trials right now, so I'm not a knight or a master. But it just doesn't sit well with me because, like, personally, like, meditation is good for you scientifically. Exercise is good for you. Studying things and learning is good for you. And even though that we don't necessarily completely agree that like, the force or source energy can actually, first of all, like, I believe that scientists have a lot of facts about it, but actually can be, like, manipulated by an individual. Like, just the fact.
Well, Reiki's, right?
Yeah, exactly. Reiki. That's completely.
They say they have scientific evidence that they're using the energy of the universe.
Right, precisely.
Right?
Yeah, right. And actually, I do like Reiki sessions on, like, I have done Reiki sessions on people and other people. I've never studied Reiki before, but, like, just from my studying of the Force in my Jedi training, I've been able to basically determine how I would go about doing that just from what I've learned in my Jedi training. So, like, even that, like personally, I completely have felt the power of the Force or whatever in, like, within me, and I have been able to manipulate energies to do good. But just about that, like, when people come at me sideways, like, I don't see them taking it upon themselves to help people. I don't see them taking it upon themselves to become even better individuals in themselves. Like, I'm not one to look down on someone, but I'm saying, like, these people have more been like couch potatoes, or they've been people who aren't the they've been people who aren't the nicest people in the world. They've been arrogant. They've been a little bit half-hearted in their endeavors, and they've also been rather rude and mean. Like, and I'm not just saying this about, like, how they talk to me about being a Jedi, but also about how they live their life as an individual. It's like, that's more the people who come to me and have a problem with it. Honestly, how I take it is just it gets me deeper in the Jedi path. It gives me more to meditate about. It gives me a deeper understanding of people as a whole and as in general, like, how everyone has different viewpoints, and as Jedi, we are taught to, that was one of the lines of the creed, to respect life in all forms. So I still give them my respect, but also I apply my logic in the fact that there's, like, one law of the 10 Shaolin laws, that you have to stay away from wicked people. So as Jedi's, we do also take that philosophy into account. So I do just stay away from these people who don't serve me. Right now, I would consider them as being wicked, not that they are wicked, but that they are showing wicked attributes within themselves. So I just really stay away from that negative, the dark side of the force that they have inside of it.
When you were a kid, you said that the church wanted to go to Vegas, and I immediately assumed that it was a Christian church. But was that true, or
Yes,
was
sir. It was a Christian church.
So, are you still a Christian?
Uh,
And I'm sorry if that's coming at you sideways. Don't answer it. If you don't
it's fine. It's fine. Cause like I didn't want to touch with you based about like spirituality. Like when I was like 12 years old, I had a premonition that I thought it was from the Lord, from the Most High. I believe that it's from the Lord, from the Most High. I would say like in a few years, I would say most definitely was. But like the Lord had told me to study spirituality. He told me to study different religions. He told me to take into an account of how other people feel, how other belief systems are, and how they like use the power of either their gods or their evokers, and see how they use like prayer and see how they use spirituality within themselves and get deeper with that. So I had started doing that at the age of 12, like studying different religions, studying spirituality. I got into chakras, like the third eye, opening your pineal gland. I got into Egyptology, like Egyptian god and goddesses, also like Norse gods, goddesses, Thor and Odin, Loki. I started studying them, getting deeper with them. Um, and so like I had opened my third eye, like as far as I'm concerned, like when I was like 12 through 14 years old, like I had spent hours of meditation doing it, because basically I found out that you have to spend hours of meditation doing it. And I actually had a shaman, like he had I had aligned my chakras first, because that is necessarily how you're supposed to do it. You can like don't learn anything from me, because I'm not a knight. I'm not supposed to teach people. But you can try to open your third eye before you align your chakras, but it is more difficult in theory for you to do. So I had aligned my chakras first, like my root through my crown chakra, and aligned them. And then I moved on to opening my third eye. The aligning my chakras took maybe like 3 months. The opening my third eye took maybe like 4 to 6 months of like constant meditation. I would be meditating for 4 hours like a day in order to actually achieve this height. And I did actually achieve it. And what I was saying about a shaman is he had told me that, okay, I see you have your third eye open. And he had asked me like, why is it still open? Why is it just sitting there open? He didn't understand that. So that definitely gave me some more reassurance about like the fact that, well, because the fact that he had seen my third eye being open, like after I had recently opened it, did definitely give me some insight into the fact that, okay, so there is something behind this third eye thing, because this shaman has seen my third eye open. I didn't tell him I was opening it. I didn't tell him it was open, but he's seen it open. So that definitely gave me some insight as to that. Yeah, but so about being a Christian, to actually answer your question, sorry, Jerry.
Oh, it's okay.
Yeah, I don't identify with being a Christian. I have a Bible, like but I also have a Quran, I have a Yupsidens, I have a Doji Ming, like I have an I Ching, I have a lot of I study, like I told you about my studying of theology. I have a lot of like those spiritual books, and I do read them, but I'm not a Christian. I don't commit to being a Christian. Like I also have some situations with basically how what they did to Native Americans. Remember, I'm telling you that I'm Native American. I have some situations what they did to Native Americans, like forcing them to accept their religion, and also what they did to like pagans and even African American slaves. Like the forcing of them to just identify with their religion and convert to it. I'm not necessarily against anyone, also against my Jedi beliefs, but I am in my meditations. I am dealing with how that sits with me as an individual being, as intellectual, and also as connected to the spiritual as I am.
Well, I think like many other things throughout history, no matter what you call it or how you look at it. What you're doing with the Jedi sounds just as reasonable to me as anything else, because it's putting good practices together that are effective: meditation, mindfulness, training, exercising, not dealing with the bullshit of other people's baggage, all
Right.
of that. Those are all great things. So I love what you're doing, and I'm super proud to actually talk to you about it, because I think people probably think it's fiction or something.
Yeah, right.
And to me, it feels very real.
I think that people, personally, I think that people think that I'm like caught into like the Star Wars universe, which like to elaborate on that, I think that they think that I'm trying to live my life as like a fictional Jedi, and my masters from the Jedi Knights Temple, they're pretty like they use the term realistic Jedi instead of a fictional Jedi, because like I'm not trying to throw a spaceship at somebody who pissed me off. I'm only trying to help people where they need help. I'm trying to keep the peace where it needs to be kept, and also seek justice where justice needs to be served. Those are the things that I'm doing. I will also say that I do that pretty effectively. Like my roommates personally, like they come to me for advice. Like all of my roommates, even my Padawan Hayden, like he comes to me when he needs advice, and they also can also talk to me about things that actually need to be talked about. And I feel like I give them the best advice that I can. I feel like I am being a very effective Jedi and being a very effective Jedi realist that could possibly be.
So, what's something you do every damn day to push all this forward?
Okay, so I do. So okay, when I wake up in the morning, right? So your daily Jedi training, like I probably mentioned on the show already. Um, as a Padawan, you're supposed to do 15 push-ups, 25 sit-ups, and 20 rising kicks both ways. So as a knight, you do 50, and then you do 150 sit. You do 50 push-ups and 150 sit-ups. So basically, with my joining of the National Guard, the military, I had basically just added some onto there, and I had times it times four. So I do 90 and 180, and then I still do my rising kicks, and then I go on a run. So I do that every day. I do 4 sets of 90 push-ups, 4 sets of 180 push-ups. I do a 2 mile run every day. I meditate for mostly an hour every day. Like I've been feeling like the force telling me, like not really telling me, like the force has only been keeping me at a meditation for like 45 minutes to 50 minutes for maybe like the past 2 weeks. But prior to that, I was meditating for a good hour every day. So I do that every day. I also do vocal warm up exercises every day in order to keep my voice nice and tight and able to actually use and perform. I am going to college right now for a music degree, so I do classes most of the days, except for if I want to take a day off and just not do it. I have a few projects right now that I'm working on. I have some homework that I'm working on. Um, so yeah, I do that for my music stuff. Like I practice the guitar every day for 30 minutes. I also do 30 minutes of singing, um, like like accumulated throughout the day. I used to just sit down for 30 minutes and sing, but I found myself just walking around singing. So I just noticed, okay, let me just sing all day, and then that would be my 30 minutes of singing. So that's what I do for my Jedi and for my music path. And like even like my Jedi training completely transfers to my military training, completely. So like I really don't need to do anything more for that. So I work on like my website and my social medias, my SoundClouds, my social medias and my music medias like SoundCloud and DatPiff. I go over them every day. I look at the analytics. I look at how they're structured, how they're formatted, and I make sure that they're as tight and they're as good as like me and my personal capabilities can get them and make them. Which also I feel like played off from my Jedi training. Definitely the discipline of being a Jedi definitely does help me to maintain the way my website is structured, the format, and also my music media. So I do go over them every day, making sure they're as good as they can be.
I'm so happy I met you. I love what you're saying. I'm loving the way that you're approaching this and what you're doing. Uh, Thank you for telling us all of that.
Yeah, of course.
So,
Good to be here, Dre.
of course. So we daisy chained the shows together, and yesterday on the show I had LaShawn, who's with like the Poor People's Campaign and 1 in a Billion Consulting, and the question that she wanted me to ask you is, what are you doing to replace yourself? Like, make sure the legacy moves on. And you might have answered it with your.
I probably did answer that a little bit. So basically, like, I really think about my future. I really think about like the woman that I married, like the woman that I go out on dates with. I really give that a lot of consideration and a lot of thought. I think about my life. I think about being able to afford said woman, and also any children that may sprout up afterwards. But basically, what I'm doing in order to make sure that I'm replaced by the true heir of Hezekiah Jacob. I'm very connected to Native culture, and I'm also doing my best to connect with my African American heritage too. It is rather rough seeing as how like African American slaves, like their culture was, you can say torn from them. I think that's a more heavy word. I think it's soothing, but I think it's a more heavy word. But it was separated from them. And they really weren't allowed to know it. So like in my studies of it, I really can't find much past like slavery and the civil rights movement, which I don't really like to be like, okay, we struggle. I don't really like to be like that. I really want like dances or songs that can be good. So like studying like my involvement in Native American culture. So I actually wear this medicine bag, right, which is a Native American medicine bag where you put significant items in, and you carry it around with you, and it basically gives you like Native Americans would say that it gives you like this is being like a layman's term, but like superpowers. It gives you supernatural abilities, or like you would be able to do things that you normally couldn't do without it. So I wear that, and I also like I've embarked on a vision quest before, so getting deeper with my Native American heritage and the studying of it and the implementing it into my life, and I plan to do that to my best ability and pass it down to my children so they can practice being Native, and also so they can teach their children to practice being Native. Um, so also with my Jedi, like I've started a website to where I am keeping all the Jedi training on there, so people can view it and so they can learn Jedi training. Not all the training is on there. Some of the training is actually sacred. That's not allowed to be taught to anybody, so it's not allowed to just be there for anyone to have. So I have that website for people who are interested in being a Jedi, and people who want to get trained. They can get on there and see how it goes.
Do you want to share that website?
Oh yeah, so the website is called JYB Jedi Temple weebly.com.
Weebly.com. Is Weebly with two E's?
With two E's.
Looks like that, I think.
Yeah.
All right. So tomorrow on the show, I've got another Jerry. He's the president of the United Way, or chairman or something like that, for Mid-Michigan here. Yeah. What question would you like to pass to him?
Okay, so the question I'll pass to Jerry is so I don't think I'll word it. What are you doing to achieve your utmost desires? So like the things that he really wants in his heart. So say it's $1 zillion. How is he achieving? What things is he doing to achieve said $1 zillion that he wants from himself?
So I'm going to flip that question on you and ask you that same thing. What are you doing?
Okay, what am I doing? My utmost desires. I really want to like have a good life. I really want to have live my life to the fullest. I want to have a nice life, a nice wife, nice children. I'm keeping mindful of the things that I do. I'm keeping mindful of my expenses. I'm keeping mindful of my music. I also want to achieve music. I'm actually applying myself where I need to apply myself. I'm doing the things that I necessarily should do in order to achieve my goals. I'm staying away from like clubs, places where I wouldn't meet the ideal person for me. I'm staying away from like parties where people get drunk and then they just end up hooking up together. Staying away from hookups, things like that, and only looking for the best, like someone that is actually completely compatible with me. But I'm also not just doing that. I'm also searching my soul, see how I sit and how I feel within myself to see if I even am deserving of approaching somebody, talking to somebody, and even doing something like that. Seeing if I sit well with myself enough to make myself feel like I would sit well with someone else and other people. Vice versa with my music too. Making sure that I accept my music, I would listen to it rather than like just putting it out and it was garbage. I would definitely say that as a musician, and it was garbage, and I would actually give it the time of day myself.
So, do people think you're older than you are?
People do. People do think I'm older than I am. People.
I mean, you got your shit together when it comes to trying to find the right partner. I mean,
Right.
just da 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 da. Yeah.
Right. People have told me in spirit and in health, they think that I'm a older individual than I actually am. They told me like the way that I have myself maintained, like they feel like I'm a person in his early late 30s. The way that I actually know to stay away from like said evils or wickedness, and also the way that I keep myself disciplined, myself focused on my tasks and the things that I actually want to achieve in life and that I actually want to accomplish.
We said in the comments, but we didn't say on the show how old you are.
Oh, so I'm 22 years old actually. My birthday was just June 28th. This year, right? Of course, this year, but a few days ago. I think it was like 11 days ago. And my little sister's birthday is actually tomorrow. I'll shout her out. My little sister, Aviante Cottrell. Stay away from her. I'm a Jedi. And I'm in the military, but anyway. So yeah, my little sister's birthday is tomorrow, and my birthday was June 28th, a few days ago. So
Well, happy belated birthday to you, and happy tomorrow birthday for your little sister,
thank you, Dad.
who
Thank you.
we're all definitely going to stay away from. Happiness, sadness, joy, or hope. Which word or words would you like to talk about?
I would say hope and joy. Hope and joy. I would.
Yeah, please
Okay.
keep talking.
Okay, so I would say hope and joy. I would say that there's a difference between happiness and joy. Like what I would say is, so like as for like joy is an underlining like feeling that you have maintained within you at all times. But I would think that happiness is something that like spurts up. Like you drink some soda pop and like now you're happy. But like joy is the fact that when you go home today at the end of your workday, like you've been sweating away on the chain gang, like Sam Cooke would say, and you've been sweating away all day on the chain gang. You have a nice bed at your house that you can relax to, or you have a TV that in your favorite show comes on at this time, or you stream your favorite show off Hulu or whatever. When you actually stream it, I think that's a joy. So like joy for me is like my Jedi training. I'll say like the fact that I'm taking the trials now, and that I feel like I'm ready within myself to take them. The fact that I go to school specifically for music in order to achieve my goals, and also not just achieve my goals just because of my love for music. I love learning about music. I love studying it, and I'm happy that I get to do that in some way, shape, or form, some outlet. I get to get deeper with music. Um, as far as hope, I would say there is a there's a like hope. I don't really want to describe the word with the word, but there is a an outlook for something better, something different. I think that's why people are so concerned and connected with the afterlife, because I feel like they're hopeful for the things that are to come in the hereafter, which definitely resonates with me. But I feel as if hope is something that's not attained. You don't have it yet, but it's something that you're looking towards, you're looking for, and you know that you would get it, which is kind of the whole thing. But you know that you would get it, and you're kind of just waiting for it to happen. So that's hope. It's just an anxious wait for a goal that you deserve and that you will get within yourself, within your surroundings and in your environment. It's kind of what I would say, that people are like hopeful for humanity and hopeful for the future, because like for me, logically, I don't think humanity can keep. I won't necessarily say they're messing up, but I don't think humanity can keep, like, first of all, like destroying the planet that we live on. Like, scientists have already discussed with us that we can't do it forever. They didn't tell us to stop, but they told us that we can't do it forever because we will die from polluting the earth. So, but we also can't. I feel like we will evolve to a time in our existence and in our lives to where we just can't do wickedness, like the Shaolin laws tell us we can't do crimes. We can't just go outside, shoot somebody, and like, even those people who do it, they have hard. They most of them have some hard time like dealing with their situation. Kind of how a soldier like develops PTSD from all the things that he's seen and all the things that he did. I feel like humanity's understanding of those things will have its wear down on them, and they will start to understand that we can't do these things anymore. So I guess that is my hope for the future, something that I see is inevitable to happen, and I'm anxious and waiting for it to.
So to use a couple of words that we just talked about, I'm so enjoying this. I'm full of joy for knowing you and getting to know you better on this show. And someone like you gives me a lot of hope because you're full of optimism, you're full of knowledge, you're full of drive, and you're gonna do great things. And you're so young, and I just you seem so far out there, so far ahead is what I mean, like wise.
Right,
And
right.
so
Thank you.
I really appreciate you being on the show and sharing your story with us. And I think it's super interesting. Obviously, I want to keep engaging and talking with you, and hoping you're coming around here for a lot of music, but I want to talk Jedi with you more too.
Of course, of course.
So I appreciate you being on the show. And everyone, tomorrow we'll have Jerry from the United Way will be with us every day at 2. Today was episode 302. And we've got 63 more after today, about 45 more slots to sign up to. So sign up for Every Damn Day if you haven't been on it. And we'll see you on one of these episodes. What would you like to take us out with?
I guess I'll take you out with a song, a demo that I had recorded, maybe like last year or something. So it's not the song. It's not the song I did at the open mic, but it's a different demo. It's called "On Girl." It's a song that I wrote, and I have it out, so I'm not concerned about like somebody seeing it at the wrong time.
Okay.
But so it's called "On Girl." The Beatles was my influence behind it. Like they're saying of ah and ooh and ah and all my studying of their music. So yeah, that's what I would take us out with.
All right. You can do the whole song?
If you want, like, yeah.
It's completely up to you.
I'll do the whole song for us, Jerry.
All right.
Sweet. Okay.
And acapella too, right? Sorry.
Acapella. Yeah,
All right.
acapella. I don't have a rehearsal on the guitar, so all right. Here goes. Baby shot my heart again. She had enough and she wanted and told me. See now, I know you got no time for friends. Said she thinks it's innocent. Oh, sugar's honey satisfies, makes the monies that even pays for all of the gummies. Show me down around the lake, make it safe. We want no mistakes. Ah, 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 ah. Oh, girl, what's it to you? I wanted you, you know how to do. I caught up to your cool moves. All you naked grew on, girl. None more words undone, sure. On, girl. Run, summer, girl, we're done. Such an on, girl. You had fun with the one hated maze that I do not make. take the silly out of the city. Come to near me, clear with Billy, Sandy, Sally, smooth down tally. Oh, sugar's honey satisfies, makes the monies that even pays for all of the gummies. Show me down around the lake, make it sick, we want no mistakes. Ah, 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 ah. Oh, girl, what's it to you? I want it through, you know how to do. I caught up to your cool moves. All you naked, cruel, gruesome, gruesome. On, girl. None mud world, sun done sure. On, girl. One summer, girl, we are done searching. On, girl. Girl, take me out for lemonade. No poor boy, a little twist about all that we did. Stole off our ship trip in the distance. Can you not hear this? I believe we will steer till we not being rough. Make out point, baby, shut my heart again. She had enough and she wanted and told me it's enough, enough. You got no time for friends, says she thinks it's innocent. Oh, sugar's honey satisfies, makes the money that even pays for all of the gummies. Show me down around the lake, make it safe, we want no mistakes. Ah, 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 ah. Oh, girl, what's it to you? I wanted you know how to do. I caught up to your cool moves. Are you naked? Cool on, girl. None more world, sun done sure. On, girl. One summer, girl, we're done. Searching on, girl. Ah, oh, oh, ah, oh, oh, ah, oh, 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 girl. Ah, oh, oh, ah, oh, oh, ah, oh, 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 girl. Ah, oh, oh, ah, oh, oh, ah, oh, oh, ah, oh, girl. On, girl. By me. Thank you, Jay. Thank you.
Thank you so very much. Sorry, I came back on screen earlier. I was trying to make sure that I applauded you because I was liking that and did a little too quick. So, hey, thank you so very much for giving us your time, your knowledge, your experiences, and sharing that with us. Much love to you, my friend.
Definitely appreciate it. Thank you for having me here today, Jay. I really love that we got to speak together. Like, I really love the place. I'm really happy you brought me out too for every damn day so we can do it.
So, and people can find you on Hezekiah Jacob on
HezekiahJacob.weebly.com. Also is the link to my website. If you get on my YouTube at Hezekiah Jacob, you can find all of my links there. I have a few different videos on there. Most of my music is on there as well too.
All right, we'll get it out there. All right, sir. I'll see you in a minute up on the porch.
Yeah, of course. Thank you too, man. I'll see you there
on the show. See you all later. Love you all.